straight from the headlines, the product rule for radicals. Well, let me give you an example and kind of steer you to what the article is really intending to talk to us about. Let's imagine that we have the square root of 25 times the square root of 4. Well, what does that equal? Square root of 25 is 5, so this becomes a 5 times a 2 equals a 10. Well, what if I multiplied the insides together and rewrote it as 25 times 4? That becomes the square root of 100, and that reduces down to 10. Now, this is a special case that we want to generalize into this rule, the product rule for radicals, where we have the same index. We can combine the insides, the radicands, into one radican. So again, showed you the example, went from there. So stop. Let's give us an example and let's play with this and see what we can do. If I had the square root of 3, I want to multiply it by the square root of 7. In order to follow this expression or this product rule for radicals, we have to ensure that we have the same index. That means this is a square root and that's a square root. If that's the case, then I can combine them all underneath the same square root, and then I can make its result the square root of 21. Let's look at if I had the square root of x plus 7 times the square root of x minus 7. I have same indexes, so I can multiply the insides. So this becomes the square root of x plus 7 times x minus 7. And then if you prefer, because I do, let's rewrite that as the square root of x squared minus 49. Since we know that that's a difference of two squares, we can rewrite it in that fashion, in that form. Now let's say we have the cube root of 7 times the cube root of 9. What's important to note? Do we have the same indexes? Yes, they're both cube roots. If that's the case, then we can combine them underneath one cube root as 7 times a 9, and that equals the cube root of 63, I believe. That's 7 times 9. Last example, I have the 8th root of 10x times the 8th root of 8x to the 4th. Same indexes, they're both over an 8th root, so we can rewrite it as the 8th root of the insides, multiply the insides. 10 times 8 is 80. X times the next 4th is an x to the 5th. And then that's the simplification of that multiplication or that product of two radicals. So there you have it, product rule for radicals.